Every morning I repair another stranger's yesterday. Tiny gears, tiny springs, keeping borrowed lives in place. Gold and silver on my table, dust upon my weathered hands. Every watch begins to breathe the moment I understand. They thank me with a quiet smile, slip a payment in my coat, never knowing every heartbeat costs a little of my own. There's one old pocket watch locked inside the wooden drawer. It stopped at 10:17, 20 years ago. I never wound it anymore. Funny how I can fix almost anything except time. I can teach the clocks to sing, I can make the old bells ring, I can bring the seconds home, but I can't bring you back. Every ticking sound I hear whispers through another year. Every hour knows the truth. Time repairs the world, not you. Not you. The moon slips through my workshop window, landing softly on the floor, painting every polished surface like she's been here once before. Outside, children run toward tomorrow. Inside, I'm polishing yesterday. Funny how the youngest hearts never hear the clocks they waste. Some collect forgotten paintings, some collect expensive wine. I collect the final moments people wish they could rewind. Every scratch upon these watches has a story still alive. Every heartbeat inside brass refuses to say goodbye. Heaven owns a workshop, maybe someone there is repairing all the moments we dropped before we knew their worth. I can teach the clocks to sing, I can make forgotten springs, find the rhythm they once knew, but I can't repair me and you. So I'll wind another lifetime, polish every tiny wheel, smile politely, close the shop before the evening starts to heal. Time keeps moving soft and slow, like the blues I've always known. Tick-tock, the last customer is gone. The old watch still reads 10:17. I turn off the light, but leave the clock unfinished. Unfinished. No names on the register, no faces in the hall. Every guest arrives alone, nobody leaves quite the same. A bell rings once, the lights burn low. The night already knows why you're here. One key, one room, one secret, too heavy to carry. Room 13, locks from the inside. Room 13 knows every lie. Hang your sorrow by the door, you'll be lighter than before. But don't look back when morning calls. Room 13 keeps it all. A singer left her finest voice, a gambler left his lucky hand. A judge walked in with spotless shoes and walked out just a man. The walls never speak, the mirror never blinks, but somehow they remember everything. If pain had an address, this would be it. If mercy rented a room, it would stay down the hall. Take my shadow, room 13. Spare my soul, keep the echoes, keep the smoke, keep the words I never spoke. When I close that old oak door, I won't be who I was before. Room 13. One more night, one more ghost checks in. Vacancy sign never turns off, because regret always needs a room. post office closed an hour ago, but I still fold another page. Black ink bleeding through the paper, like a heart revealing age. No addresses on the envelopes, no stamps to buy, no train to chase. Only names the wind remembers, written in my careful hand. The room grows quiet, even silence reads along. One letter goes to my old father, who taught me how to shake a hand. Another finds the friend who vanished before we became older men. One belongs to a girl named June, who danced beneath the harvest moon. I never told her she was home before she disappeared too soon. The candle trembles but never goes out. Some conversations need no answer, some goodbyes take a lifetime. These are letters never mailed, still arriving in my soul. Every word I couldn't say still makes this broken spirit whole. If heaven has an empty mailbox, maybe someone reads them all. These are letters never mailed, but they never fail to call. Bass moves like a heartbeat, steady underneath the room. Roads hangs low like winter branches, holding shadows into bloom. Outside, taxis carry strangers toward tomorrow's brighter lights. Inside every folded letter keeps me company tonight. No bitterness, no blame, only names that still feel warm. I never asked the years for mercy, only one more honest dawn, long enough to write another page before another name is gone. Some men leave behind their fortunes, some leave statues carved in stone. I will leave a wooden desk, a fountain pen, and words that finally found a home. When my chair stands empty, don't close the drawer. Someone else will have one last letter they never found the courage to send. These are letters never mailed, written where the night is still. Every tear became a sentence, every scar became a will. If tomorrow finds my window empty, if my voice has drifted on, leave a sheet upon the table and write until the hurting's gone. These are letters never mailed, not to change the past, can outlive every goodbye. I fold the final page, place it inside another empty envelope, blow out the candle, straighten my tie, and whisper, see you next Thursday. See you next Thursday.
My shop has never faced the daylight. It only opens after 10. The bell above the old oak doorway never rings for ordinary men. Black thread, black leather, black coffee growing cold. Every stitch remembers stories no living soul has ever told. The windows wear a coat of dust like they've forgotten. Morning. They arrive without companions, hat pulled low against the rain. No one asks about the price, no one signs a proper name. One wants velvet lined with mercy, one wants silk as dark as sin. One just says, make me handsome for the night I'm leaving in. I measure shoulders, not for fashion, for the weight of hidden grief. Needle through the fabric, needle through the years. Every seam holds somebody's fear. I'm the devil's tailor, sewing broken souls, threading every silence through forgotten overcoats. One more sleeve, one more man too proud to plead. When the final button closes, nobody leaves the same. Scissors sing like distant thunder, slow and steady, sharp and clean. Every cut removes another memory no one else has ever seen. The mirror never tells a story, it only borrows every face. Some men smile before they leave, some simply straighten up with grace. The upright bass keeps walking like footsteps down a marble hall. Each note says stand taller, even when you're about to fall. The young man brought his father's jacket, still carrying tobacco and rain. He asked if I could mend the line, and I mended something else instead.
usually wears one suit no one chooses. Mine was stitched long before I learned my own measurements. I'm the devil's tailor, but I don't serve the dark. I simply dress the wounded before they face the stars. Every thread a quiet prayer, every button a last repair. If you see a man walking through the rain in a suit that fits his sorrow perfectly, he probably knows where my shop remains. The lamp burns low, the needle rests. Another coat hangs waiting in the shadows. Outside, morning finally arrives, but my door never opens before the night returns.
There's a shovel by the old oak tree, rust still clinging to the blade. Folks believe it dug up memories. Truth is, it buried one instead. Every evening since that autumn, the skies worn a darker coat. Even the crows have learned to whisper when they circle where I wrote a name. Nobody speaks anymore. The preacher called it God's own mystery. The sheriff blamed the winter wind. The children swore the stars were crying, looking for where light had been. I just nodded, kept my hat low, paid for coffee, left no trace. Some secrets don't belong in stories, some belong on a weathered face. Every shadow knows my footsteps, every silence knows my voice. I'm the man who buried the moon, wrapped a silver in a worn-out tomb. Now the night breathes black and blue. Every road leads back to you. If forgiveness ever comes, it won't arrive with the morning sun, because I know what the darkness knew the night I buried the moon. There's a pianist in the corner, playing songs without a key. Funny how the broken music always sounds complete to me. The bass walks convictions, too heavy for a younger soul. Roads hangs low beneath the ceiling like smoke that never leaves the room. Every chord, another shovel, every note, another stone. A woman asked me why no daylight ever finds your tired eyes. I smiled away, an old wolf smiles without explaining why. Because some truths can freeze a heartbeat, some confessions cost too much. Even heaven needs permission to heal certain kinds of love. Suppose tomorrow the moon returned, bright, untouched, pure. Would anyone remember the man who carried all that darkness so nobody else had to? Still I walk these empty streets, tailored in regret, buttoned to defeat. If you ever see the moon again, tell her I kept my promise, even when it broke me. Never find what sleeps beneath that old oak tree, because some graves hold no bodies, only the last piece of a man's life. Platform cold, midnight rain. Every ticket calls my name. Oh, black coat, empty hand, only blues understand. Cutting through the dark. Last train to nowhere, take me home, past the cities this town. Window glass, neon streams, broken hearts ride for free. No one asked where I've been. Silence stamps my skin. If tomorrow knows my face, tell it I'm already gone. Keep your speed, keep your speed. Every scar is all I need. One last stop, one last light, one last song for the night. Last train to nowhere, roll away. The blues will know stay. Last train, still running inside my soul. Black tie, black shoes, black rain on these avenues. Gold flame, old scars, neon sleeping in the bars. Every stranger turns away like they've seen this face before. Every doorway opens slowly without touching the door. The city doesn't love me. It simply lets me stay. Crystal glasses catch the candlelight like little stars that lost their sky. Every sip tastes just a little like another long goodbye. She wore diamonds on her silence, not a single word to spare. When she left, the smoke kept dancing like she never left the air. Don't ask where I've been, the night already knows. After midnight knows my name. Every street repeats the sound, every lonely trumpet crying. No just right. If these walls could speak tonight, they'd swear I'd never lost a fight. After midnight knows my name. Velvet boots and burning bourbon, low piano dressed in blue. Every heartbeat walks beside me, keeping rhythm like it's true. The bass rolls underneath my footsteps, heavy as a loaded gun. Every chord says keep your secrets until the morning comes. Kings wear crowns, gentlemen wear silence, legends wear regret. The difference only midnight understands. One last blues, I'll still be standing, cool and unshaken. After midnight, still remembers my name. The guitar fades, the bass keeps walking, the door swings closed without a sound. Tomorrow will forget me, but tonight I belong to the blues. Lights stay low, the room stays still. Every stranger pays the bill. Old black hat, empty stare, broken dreams fill the air. Take your seat, tell no lies. One last glance, one last chance, one slow song, one last dance. Drink it down, leave the pain, walk outside without your chains. One last glass, that's enough. Even the blues can fill your cup. A worn-out boxer, a runaway bride, a man who buried his foolish pride. Nobody speaks, nobody boasts, everybody drinks with their ghosts. If this is goodbye, let it sound like 6 strings crying slow. Truth we couldn't hide. One last flame, one last spark, a little light inside the dark. One last glass, then let it be. Keeps what's left of me. The glass is empty, the chair is warm, the blues orders one more. Without a word, without a word. There's a little pawn shop at the end of Broken Street. You can sell your watch, your ring, your memory. The old man shakes his head, not today. We don't buy pain. Some debts stay alive forever. No receipt for regret. You can pay but not forget. One more night, one more scar. You still are who you are. No receipt, no return. Some lessons only burn.
could make that choice. The cashier smiled. Wrong store, my friend. If sorrow could be traded, this town would all be rich. Raise your glass, dim the light, let the blues judge tonight. No receipt, no disguise, truth survives when pride dies. The sign flips closed. Regret. Never does. The room was dressed in bourbon light, velvet walls and tired dreams. Every face wore borrowed confidence. Nothing here was what it seemed. The piano knew my footsteps, the bartender knew my glass. Only strangers called me lucky. They never saw my past. One slow breath, one slow burn. The night still had a lesson left to learn. A smile that looked expensive, like diamonds bought with sleepless years. When she sat beside the silence, even laughter disappeared. She never asked about tomorrow, she never asked about my name. She simply touched the edge of my old whiskey, like she recognized the flame. For a moment, the whole world forgot to move. Some men chase forever, some men disappear. I learned to let the darkness come near. I'm just ashes in a tailored suit, still standing, still telling the truth. Every promise left a scar, every scar became a star. If the night wants one more round, pull my chair, don't make a sound. I'm just ashes, but this heart still burns. like heaven changing every page. Inside the bass kept pulling deeper, like an old man calling out my age. Every chord the Rhodes was holding felt too heavy to let go. Every note my guitar whispered said things words don't know. Smoke climbed higher, time slowed lower, the city disappeared. I've shaken hands with broken fortunes, shared a drink with lonely kings, watched bright young lovers trade forever for glittering little things. Now I wear my silence proudly, it fits better than regret. Some debts cannot be paid, only respected. Listen, the loudest hearts never shout. The strongest men don't need a crowd. They carry thunder inside whispers. They carry oceans inside one quiet love. I'm just ashes in a tailored suit. The fire's hidden at the root. Every goodbye built these bones. Every lonely night found its home. If tomorrow never comes, let tonight remember one man who never sold his soul for comfort, for applause, for gold. I'm just ashes in a tailored suit, still walking like the blues will never die. The snare falls silent, the bass keeps breathing. One last guitar note refuses to fade. I straighten my tie, lift my glass, smile at the empty chair, and leave the night exactly as I found it. The room went quiet when the band slowed down. I kept my smile like a borrowed crown. One last drink, one last flame. Only the night still knows my name. Every scar learns how to dress in black. After the applause, I'm still standing here. No cheers, no mercy, just this old guitar and another year. After the applause, the truth walks in. A gentleman never runs, he simply lets the blues begin. Bartender nods like we've done this before. Another goodbye across the floor. Smoke climbs slow, time sinks low. Some hearts leave, mine never goes. No gold lasts forever, no king keeps the night. Only the blues still fits me right. If you remember me, remember the song, not the man who had to let it go. Under my photograph on the bar tonight, face down beside a fading light. If anybody asks who I used to be, tell them the blues buried that man for me. This old guitar knows the crime of loving at the wrong time. Bury my name in blue, where the night cuts straight through. Let the smoke rise, let the record spin. I won't be that man again. Every scar became my truth. Bury my name in blue. The bartender nods, says nothing at all. He's seen proud men rise and fall. One slow bend from this worn-out string says more than diamonds ever bring. Bury my name
Let these dark blues speak. One last bend in silence. Rain keeps falling on this lonely street. My shadow walks a step behind my feet. This old guitar knows every wound I hide. She sings the truth I never could tonight. Another glass, another memory. Another ghost sits next to me. Whiskey after midnight, burning like a fading light. Every scar becomes a song, keeping broken souls alive all night long. If tomorrow never comes around, these blues will never let me down. The jukebox hums a slow, forgotten tune. Blue smoke dances underneath the moon. I lost her long before she said goodbye. Some loves don't leave, they just survive. Wears an old black coat. Maybe faith is one more note played before the morning comes. Whiskey after midnight, still keeping my heart upright. Every mile, every flame the city's lights grow dim. These blues become my only friend. The last chord fades into the dark, but my heart keeps playing. I checked into room 13, paid the bill in cash. The woman at the front desk smiled like she'd seen my past. My coat was dry, my boots were clean, but something followed in between. Every hallway echoed softly, like footsteps weren't just mine. Some memories never knock, they already have the key. Don't say my name, leave it in the dark. Some fires never die, they just forget the spark. Don't say my name, let the silence speak. A strong man hides his scars where no one thinks to seek. She walked in wearing midnight, no perfume, just rain. She looked at me and whispered, "You're still running, aren't you, James?" I never told her my name, I never moved a chair. The room got cold like somebody else was standing there. Truth has perfect timing, it always waits until you're tired. Don't say my name, don't call me back. Every road I've ever taken burned behind my tracks. Don't say my name, let the record spin. Some ghosts wear your face before they wear your skin. Morning waits outside the blinds, but night still owns what's left of mine. If I disappear, don't ask me why. Every answer learns to lie. Don't say my name, leave the door unlocked. If fate comes looking, tell it I already walked. Don't say my name, let the blues decide. Some men chase the daylight, I learned to walk beside it. If you remember anything, remember the song, not the man. Old hands circle faded numbers like they never learned goodbye. Every heartbeat on my workbench borrowed someone else's time. Tiny gears keep turning faithful, tiny springs refuse to quit. Funny how a broken moment is the one thing I can't fix. Every second has a shadow. Every shadow keeps a name. Wind it one more time. Hear the old wheels sing. Some hearts stop together, some never leave the spring. Wind it one more time. Maybe fate rewinds. Every clock remembers what escapes the mind. People bring me silver pocket watches, grandfathers they never knew, wedding gifts and railroad memories, stories wrapped in velvet blue. I return them all still ticking, smiles follow them outside. Then I lock the shop at midnight, with my own clock still denied. Time forgives no one, it simply keeps moving. One cracked face, one missing hand, one silent room I still can't stand. If love were only stealing glass, I'd have brought it back. One more time, just before I go. Some memories keep beating long after they grow old. Wind it one more time, then leave it on the ship. I've repaired 1,000 clocks, but never myself. The clocks kept ticking, even after I stopped listening. my name, one word at a time. Never broke a deal, never missed a line. Every handshake still holds true, except the one I made to you. Funny how honor can leave a heart behind. There's a promise I never kept, it still follows me home. Every victory sounds hollow when you celebrate alone. I wore my pride like a tailored suit, but every thread still points to you. The years got richer, the nights grew cold. I learned the price of growing old. The world called me a man of his word, but the only voice I stopped hearing was hers. Some debts take money, some take time. The hardest ones take a lifetime. There's a promise I never kept, no courtroom, no crime, just one quiet moment I left behind. If tomorrow calls my name, I'll carry one regret that never changed. Neon paints the rain in blue. Every street reminds me of you. Taxi lights fade one by one, but this long night ain't done. Neon never prays, it only shines on runaways. Every Every shadow knows my name. Every mile burns the same. If the city's got a heart, it broke before the dark. Till the morning steals the glow. I'll follow where the blue lights go. The neon fades, the bass remains. Every train I ever caught, every promise right on cue, never kept a soul waiting. Except for you. The watch still shines, the hands still move. Funny how time can still lose. Some men chase tomorrow, I kept chasing clocks, always on time. Everywhere I go, late to the only heart I should have known. Always on time, never for love. Now every midnight feels 1 minute too long. The city sleeps, my shoes still shine. Street lights count what I left behind. Success filled every empty room, but never learned 1,000 perfect mornings.
Couldn't buy one yesterday.
That's what they say. Funny, no one noticed. Love walked away. Always on time until the end. Now the clock is my only faithful friend. I walked in slow, like I own the smoke. Every eye looked up, nobody spoke. Black leather shoes, silver on my wrist. Every bad decision still lives in this kiss. The bass rolls low, like a train underground. My heartbeat lands on every snare sound. One more deal, one more lie. The devil smiles in a silk tie. Don't ask where I've been, don't ask what I've done. Some roads don't end, they just outrun the sun. Hey, pour another round, let the whole room shake. If tonight is all I've got, then tonight won't break. Hey, turn that guitar loose, make those blue notes fly. Every king wears a crown, mine's a silk tie. She crossed the floor, slow as midnight rain. Red on her lips, ice in her veins. She said, "You're dangerous." I laughed, only when I cared. She lit my cigarette like she belonged there. The drummer leans right behind the beat. The bass keeps talking heavy and deep. Nobody moves, nobody breathes, till the guitar cries what I can't speak. Money comes, friends go, only lonely songs grow old. Hey, pour another round, let the bottles shine. Every scar I ever earned still tastes like good red wine. Hey, play that old guitar, make the whole
Remember the groove, remember the bass. Remember one man who smiled through the blues, walking out clean with nothing to lose. Hey, pour another round, one more before goodbye. Raise your glass to every soul too proud to ask you why. Hey, let that guitar burn till the sunrise shines. The night owns my heart, the blues owns my mind. Hey, pour another round, hear the whole room sing. You can steal my money, but you'll never steal my swing. The smoke disappears, the truth survives. The devil left smiling in a silk tie. Some men chase the daylight, I make my living after midnight. Black coffee, cold ashtray, rain sliding down the glass. I've been buying time with late nights, but time don't sell it back. The bass keeps walking under me, heavy as a guilty thought. Every note says keep moving, every mile says for what? I wear calm like a tailored jacket. It fits better than the truth. Midnight knows my name, calls me back again. Every street light looks the same when you're hiding from yourself. Midnight knows my name, whispers through the smoke. Some men lose their way, some men lose their home. She said, you look expensive. I said, so does regret. She laughed like a match in darkness, bright enough to hurt a little. The snail lands slow and steady, the roads barely moves the air. Funny how a crowded room can feel like nobody's there. Every gentleman has a secret, mine keeps me awake. Midnight knows my name, calls me back again. Every old mistake returns, wearing a familiar grin. Midnight knows my name better than I do. That's the trouble with the blues.
me stay. So pour the blues a little louder before the night fades away. Midnight knows my name, and tonight I finally answer. Every Friday just past midnight, she arrives before the band, orders bourbon, lights a cigarette, never wears a wedding band. Sits alone at table 9, where the shadows hide her face, like she's waiting for somebody who got lost without a trace. And nobody knows her story, nobody knows her name, but every week she comes back here and orders the same old pain. The bass keeps walking through the darkness, the guitar lets the blue notes shine, and all night long I'm wondering about the woman at table 9. Tonight I finally asked the bartender, who is she waiting for? He said, friend, that's not a question, you should ask around here no more. Then he poured another whiskey and stared somewhere past the room, like he'd seen too many answers, and beneath the midnight moon. And nobody knows her story, nobody knows her name, but every week she comes back here and orders the same old pain. The band keeps playing soft and lonely, like they're reading every sign, and all night long I'm wondering about the woman at table 9. Near closing time she left a photograph beside a glass half full of wine. A smiling man in army colors, dated 1979.
then falls like rain against the night. Now everybody knows the story, though nobody says her name. She's been keeping one old promise while the whole world moved away. The bass rolls on, the years roll on, but some hearts never change with time. So here's to love that never left, and the woman at table 9. Next Friday, when the clock strikes midnight, table 9 is waiting, just in case he finally comes home.
She walked in right when the lights went low, right when the band found its groove. Black heels clicking on the hardwood floor, making every head in the room move. She didn't smile, she didn't wave, didn't need to even try. The whole damn lounge stopped breathing when she walked beneath the moonlight. She stole the moon from the sky and hung it in her eyes. Every man in the room stopped talking, every lie forgot his lies. She stole the moon from the sky, left the stars with nothing to do. And for one long night, I swear the whole world revolved around you. The bass rolled deep like a midnight engine. The snare hit sharp and clean. She danced alone in a circle of shadows, like she stepped from a silver screen dream. I said, what's a woman like you doing here? She said, looking for a song. Then she stole my drink and laughed like she'd known me all along. She stole the moon from the sky and hung it in her eyes. Every heart in that smoky room started beating out of time. She stole the moon from the sky, made the night feel brand new. And for one long night, I forgot everything but you. She climbed on stage, whispered something to the band. The guitar cried, the roadside, and suddenly everybody danced. Slow band, long sustained. One note shining like silver in the dark. She stole the moon from the sky and gave it back before the dawn left nothing but her perfume and a memory to lean on. She stole the moon from the sky. That's what I'll always choose to believe, 'cause some women are too beautiful to explain any other way. The night ended, the moon stayed, but somehow it never looked quite the same again. Found an old key in my jacket from a winter long gone by. No name carved into the meadow, just a reason to wonder why. I turned it over in the lamplight while the blues roll through the room, like a ghost tapping my shoulder from the far side of the moon. There's a key in my pocket, but the door is long gone now. Funny how some memories stay when the reasons don't know how. There's a key in my pocket, cold as a midnight truth. Some things keep on opening even after losing you. Maybe it fit a cheap apartment, maybe a Cadillac in the rain, maybe a heart I couldn't hold before I drove away again. The guitar bent a lonely answer, the bass kept walking through the dark, and that little piece of metal felt heavier than my heart. There's a key in my pocket, but the door is long gone now. Funny how some memories stay
There's a key in my pocket, and tonight I'll let it be. Some locks were never made for doors, they were made for memory. The band played one last slow song. I slipped the key back in my coat and left it there.
Walked into the club with a lucky silver dollar. Been carrying it around since I was 17. Won 100 bets, survived 100 bad nights, kept me somewhere in between. Then she sat down laughing like she owned the jukebox, like the whole room was a stage. She spun that coin across her fingers and said, "Mind if I borrow your luck for a day?" The bass got low, the lights got dim. She flashed that smile, and I was done for then. She's got my lucky dollar, and I want it back. Well, maybe not the dollar, just the woman who took that. She stole my luck, she stole my cool, stole my last good alibi. She's got my lucky dollar, and my heart along for the ride. Every Friday she'd come dancing through the doorway, flip that silver coin up in the air. Hid she'd stay and drink till closing time, till she'd disappear somewhere. The whole band knew her name by then, the bartender knew it too. But every time I'd ask where she was headed, she'd say somewhere luck can't follow you. She's got my lucky dollar, and I want it back. Well, maybe not the dollar, just the woman who took that. She stole my love, she stole my cool, she stole my last good alibi. She's got my lucky dollar, and my heart along for the ride. One night she laid that coin beside my whiskey, said, "Truth is, you never needed this thing." Then she kissed my cheek and walked away before I could answer a single word. Oh, sweet slow bed, oh, then another, like a smile disappearing in the smoke. She's got my lucky dollar, at least that's what I still pretend, 'cause the coin's right here beside me. found my lucky dollar, and somehow I'm still glad she took the ride. The bass rolls on, the lights burn low, and every time I flip that coin, I hope it lands on her.
I found a 20 on the sidewalk, thought maybe luck had changed its mind. So I walked straight into Rosie's, left my better judgment behind. The dealer smiled like he knew something. The cards came easy for a while. I was buying drinks for strangers, thinking I could beat the house tonight. But the house always wins. Sooner or later, my friend, it lets you taste a little heaven before it takes it back again. The house always wins. That's the oldest blues I know. It gives you just enough hope to keep you in the game too long. Sat down in the seat beside mine, said you're betting like a rich man and losing like a fool tonight. I laughed and pushed my chips forward. She shook her head and sipped her wine. By midnight she was still smiling, and every dollar had turned into dimes. The house always wins. Sooner or later, my friend, it lets you taste a little heaven before it takes it back again. She stood up and headed for the doorway, paused, and dropped one chip into my hand. Keep this, she said, for the lesson. Always wins, but tonight I finally did too. I walked away with empty pockets and one honest truth. The house always wins, but it didn't get my soul. Some things are worth more than money, and that's worth more than gold. The bass rolls low, he's different.
There's a photograph above the bar, been hanging there for years. A man in a sharp black suit with a grin from ear to ear. Nobody talks about him much, nobody knows the whole story. But every Friday night at midnight, someone buys his drink. Who was the man in the photograph? What kind of life did he leave behind? A gambler, a saint, a runaway king? Depends on who you ask that night. The band plays low, the whiskey pours, the rumors never stop. Everybody's got a story about the man in the photograph. An old waitress says he owned the building. A drummer swears he robbed a bank. The bartender just keeps smiling and never says who's right. The guitar band's a lonely answer. The bass keeps walking through the dark. Sometimes mystery lives longer than the truth ever could. Who was the man in the photograph? What kind of life did he leave behind? A lover, a fighter, a man on the run? Depends on who you ask that night. Near closing time, I finally asked, which story is the real one? The bartender laughed and said, all of them. Everybody becomes a story after the last call. The lights go down, the photo stays, watching over another midnight. Walked in wearing midnight on my shoulders, like a tailor-made shadow cut in black. The bartender nodded, he already knew me, a man who never asked for her face was searching for salvation in the bottom of a glass or someone else's eyes. Then she appeared through the haze of the evening, like trouble wrapped in velvet and perfume. She carried all the grace of a fallen angel and all the danger of a loaded moon. She sat beside me, said, "You look familiar." I smiled and let the silence answer first, because the saddest men become good liars when they're trying to hide a lifelong thirst. I'm the king of empty rooms, the lord of broken memories. Every love I've ever touched turned into a haunting melody. And I wear this lonely crown like a gentleman of misery. I'm the king of empty rooms, but tonight your eyes are challenging me. The band played low, the bass line kept rolling like a long black Cadillac through the dark. My guitar cried somewhere in the distance, like a wounded animal with a faithful heart. She leaned closer than a prayer at midnight, said, "Tell me something honest before I leave." I laughed because the truth is such a dangerous thing for men who still have ghosts up their sleeves. So I told about the years I wasted chasing gold that turned to dust in my hands, about the woman who taught me how to love, then disappeared like footprints in the sand. She listened like the night listens to thunder, never judging all the wreckage I became. And for a moment I could almost remember how it felt before the world knew my name. I'm the king of empty rooms, the lord of broken memories. Every love I've ever touched turned into a haunting melody. And I wear this lonely crown like a gentleman of misery. I'm the king of empty rooms, but tonight your eyes are challenging me. Outside the rain was writing little obituaries across the windows of the sleeping town. Inside her hand found mine beneath the table, like she was pulling a lost man from the ground. The snare hit hard, the bass kept moving slowly, and every note hung heavy in the air. The kind of moment people spend a lifetime seeking, then spend forever wishing still was there. Slow, rising from the darkness, long notes trembling like a final confession, every phrase answering the words we couldn't say. I'm the king of empty rooms, but kingdoms fall when hearts remember. One touch can set fire to a winner that survived 100 Decembers. And this lonely crown I wore suddenly feels lighter than before. I'm the king of empty rooms, or maybe I don't belong there anymore. Last call echoed through the private club. She stood and pulled her coat around the night, then kissed my cheek and vanished with the dawn, leaving behind her perfume and a reason to believe that even the darkest blues
can still find the light.
She walked in when the band got louder. Red lipstick, black high heels. Every man forgot his conversation. Every heart forgot to heal. She moved slow through the smoky room, like she owned the midnight air. Then she stole the seat beside me, like she'd always belonged there. She smiled once, the whole room leaned her way. Lord, I knew right then I was in trouble anyway. She's dancing with my whiskey, laughing with my blues, stealing all the lonely thoughts I came in here to use. My heart says run away, my eyes say let her stay. She's dancing with my whiskey and carrying me away. The bass was bouncing like a heartbeat. The snare hit hard on 2 and 4. She tapped her fingers on the table, like she'd heard this song before. Then she grabbed my hand and pulled me out where the neon shadows sway. Said life's too short for sitting still, boy, and dragging my doubts away. One slow spin, one reckless grin, and suddenly the night was mine again. She's dancing with my whiskey, laughing with my blues, turning all my broken roads into something I can use. My heart says run away, my eyes say let her stay. She's dancing with my whiskey and carrying me away. The guitar cried, she laughed. The guitar cried again, she laughed louder. The whole room disappeared, till there was only her and the rhythm and the danger of wanting one more song. She's dancing with my whiskey, singing with my soul, taking all the shattered pieces, making something whole. My heart says run away, but my feet refuse to move. She's dancing with my whiskey, and tonight I've got nothing left to lose. Last call came, the lights came on. She kissed my cheek and disappeared.
But every time the band plays that groove, I still see her dancing with my whiskey.
The clock struck 1, the city turned quieter. The rich folks disappeared behind locked doors. The band played low beneath the amber lightning, like they'd played 1,000 lonely nights before. I took my seat beside the window corner, where the rain wrote little rivers on the glass. The bartender slid over my usual bourbon without a word, without a question asked. That's when the night shift started showing up. The people daylight never gets to see. A cab driver carrying fresh regrets, a gambler owing more than he could be, a waitress with tired eyes and brave lipstick, a preacher hiding doubts beneath his tie. All of us pretending we were strangers, all of us carrying something we couldn't hide. Welcome to the night shift for broken hearts, where the blues clock in and never leave, where every smile has a crack beneath it, and every soul has something up its sleeve. The bass rolls slow, the guitar whispers, like old friends telling painful truths in the dark. Welcome to the night shift for broken hearts. Near 2 o'clock, a woman took the piano seat, though nobody remembered seeing her arrive. She played a melody that sounded familiar, like a dream I'd somehow survived. The room grew still except for the heartbeat rhythm of kick drum echoes beneath the floor. And every face turned toward the music, like we'd all been waiting for something more. Then the cab driver started crying softly. The gambler stared down at his shaking hands. The preacher closed his eyes and stopped pretending. The waitress finally let her makeup run. Nobody laughed, nobody looked away, because pain recognizes pain, and sometimes that's enough. Welcome to the night shift for broken hearts, where the blues clock in and never leave, where every scar gets treated like a story, and every wound gets room enough to breathe. The snare hits hard, the bass keeps walking, the guitar bends notes like sparks in the dark. Welcome to the night shift for broken hearts. The woman finished playing, stood up, and headed for the door. I followed her outside just long enough to ask, "Do you come here often?" She smiled, said, "No. Only when somebody needs that song."
and disappeared into the rain.
Hanging beneath the streetlights, deep bands floating through midnight fog. A conversation between memory and mercy, without a single word spoken. Welcome to the night shift for broken hearts, where the lonely come to heal unseen, where the darkness isn't something feared, it's just the space between the dreams. The bass rolls on, the city sleeps, the band keeps guarding the fragile sparks. Welcome to the night shift for broken hearts. You're among friends here after dark. 3 o'clock, the chairs go up, the lights come down. The last note fades into silence, and one by one, the broken hearts head home. A little heavier, a little lighter, and somehow still alive. Still alive. Still alive. There was an old man down on Riverside, always dressed in charcoal gray. He'd sit alone beneath the streetlight and tell folks what tomorrow would say. He never asked for money, never claimed he was a saint, just smiled through the cigarette smoke and told you what tomorrow ain't. He said tomorrow's just a lie, selling dreams you cannot hold. The only thing that's ever certain is the story being told right now. The boxer asked about a title, the singer asked about fame, the gambler asked about winning. Everybody asked the same. The old man shook his head slowly as the night rolled dark and deep. Most folks spend their lives chasing tomorrow and lose today in their sleep. He said tomorrow's just a liar, selling dreams you cannot hold. The only thing that's ever certain is the story being told right now. what happens to me. He looked at his drink, looked at the band, then looked back at me and laughed. A single blue note hanging in the smoke like a question with no answer. He said, you'll waste some years, you'll break some hearts, you'll lose some things you can't replace, but one day you'll stop running and learn to love your place. The next Friday he was gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just an empty chair and a glass still sitting on the table. For the first time, he hadn't shown up to see